Coming up with a name is one of the hardest parts of making a game, so it might shock you when I tell you you don't need a name for your game, you actually need two, a release name and a development name. In this video I'll explain what these two names mean, why we need them, and how to create a development name in just a few seconds using a simple system. Let's get started. The release name is what we normally consider as the name of a game. It's the name that goes on the box and it's what the player refers to the game by. The release name is one of the most important parts of your game since it's the player's first impression of the game and has to sum up the whole experience in a few seconds. If you've clicked on this video, you probably know how hard it is to come up with a release name. It takes a lot of time, a lot of creative thinking, and a lot of market research to get it absolutely right. Even worse, the name is often the barrier for entry into making our game. We come up with a great game idea, but sit in front of Unity Hub looking at the empty project name for hours, wondering what it should be called. And this is where the development name comes in. The development name is a name used by the people making the game. This is a widely used industry practice. Grand Theft Auto was internally called Race and Chase while it was in development, and we often hear about internal names of popular games in leaks. Since the development name is used only by us, it doesn't need to be fancy. We don't need to be creative, we can be systematic in creating one. Once we have it, we can use that for our game assets, documentation, and project name, and actually start making the game as soon as possible. So, let's create a development name in a few seconds using a simple system. The first step is to pick a theme for your game. Think about what the player will spend most of the time doing, where the game takes place, or what the story of the game is. Try to sum this up in 1 or 2 words. For example, in The Witcher 3, the player spends most of the time hunting and killing monsters, so our theme word could be hunting. The next step requires us to use mythology, specifically the Roman, Greek and Norse gods. Just Google God of, followed by your theme, and find the matching Roman, Greek or Norse god. For The Witcher 3, we Google God of Hunting and we get Artemis. That's it. That's your development name. It might not be flashy, but it doesn't need to be. It's only going to be you seeing this name, and right now you need to be focused on actually making the game. The goal is to not waste our creative thought on names in this early stage, but instead to save our creative thought for game mechanics, story and art. Then you can come back to your theme and your development name and use those to guide your creative process further and come up with your final release name. Here's what I want you to do. Take a popular game you've played recently and come up with a development name for it using this system. Then put it down in the comments below and I'll see if I can guess the game. If you found this helpful, check out the other videos on screen, leave a like and subscribe for more.